Hello, my name's Daniel. Today we're reading Melric and the Petnapping by David McKee. So get comfy and I'll begin. Melric the magician had been on holiday with his cousin Gus and was looking for a present to take back to the king. Gus was a wizard. He lived on an island and had unusual pets. "Give him a pet," said Gus. "I've just the thing, a Troon." "Perfect," said Melric. The king loved Melric's present. There were some unusual pets around, but most people kept cats and dogs. Nobody else had a Troon. The Troon was happy too and went everywhere with the king. Soon afterwards, some of the pets could not be found. "Dear, dear, dear," said the king when he heard about it. The next day, more pets had disappeared. "Tut, tut, tut," said the king. "I must think about this." The third day, yet more pets were missing. "A pet thief!" cried the king. "Guard your pets! Lock them up at night!" He kept the Troon close by and firmly locked the palace doors. But the next morning, the rest of the pets, including the Troon, had vanished. The king sent for Melric. "My poor Troon," he moaned. "Find him! Find all the pets and quickly, or I'll find a new magician." Melric went to his room. He had hardly closed the door when Gus appeared. His pets were missing too. Melric told him about the other pets. Gus was flabbergasted. Melric and Guz agreed to go in opposite directions to search for the missing pets and to meet later. They travelled the kingdom, but there were no sign of the pets. About tea time, Melric landed at Somber Crags. Sitting there grinning nastily was Sondrak the sorcerer. "You won't find those pets easily, Melric," sneered Sondrak. "It was an effort to steal them, but it was worth it. When you can't return them, your job will be mine." The king was furious when Melric returned to the palace empty-handed. He repeated his threat that if Melric couldn't find his pets, he would find a new magician. "We'll have to ask Kra for advice," Melric told Guz. Kra the wise man lived on a mountain protected by magic. The climb was steep and Guz was soon struggling. Suddenly they found themselves at the top. "You climb as badly as you search," said Kra. "If you were missing pets, you'd have been taken to the hiding place by magic, just as I brought you here." Kra had nothing more to say, so the cousins returned to the palace. But Kra's words had given them an idea. The next morning, a guard announced a messenger from Sondrak. "Show him in here," said Melric. "I'll get the king." Melric quickly made spells that made Guz look like the king and turned himself into an animal. Sondrak's messenger entered and said that Sondrak would find the pets if the king would give him Melric's job as the court magician. "We'll wait," said King Guz. "Melric will probably return the pets. I still have this one for company. At night he's safe in Melric's room." The messenger left and Melric undid the spell. That night, Melric turned himself back into a pet again and waited. Suddenly, he felt a spell on him. In a moment, he was whisked out of his room and found himself in a cage in an old mine, surrounded by the missing pets. Sondrak was there too. "That's that!" Sondrak snarled. "Soon the king will give me Meldric's job, and I'll be glad to get rid of you lot. You're hard work." With that, he fell asleep exhausted. Quietly, Melric led himself and the other animals out of the cages. He explained his plan, and the pets started to play their part, wailing and moaning. Sondrak half woke up. "What's going on?" he mumbled. "Oh, Sondrak," they sobbed. "Please don't send us back. We like it here." Sondrak was soon buried under a pile of noisy, pleading animals. His plan had gone very wrong. Summoning up the energy for one last effort, Sondrak made spell after spell and sent the pets back where they had come from. Then, finally, he fell asleep. The next morning, when the people found their pets had returned, the palace was a happy place once more. Meanwhile, Melric and Guz, looking like the king and his pet, were waiting near Sondrak's hideout. When Sondrak staggered out, he was still shuddering from the memory of the clamouring animals. "Hello, Sondrak," said King Guz. "I've come to offer you a job." Sondrak's face lit up. Guz continued, "I'd like you to be the palace pet keeper." Melric bounded towards the sorcerer. Sondrak shrieked in horror and then quickly vanished. Melric and Guz became themselves again. "I think it will be a long time before Sondrak tries any more pet napping." Melric laughed. Thanks for listening. See you next time.